Hello, folks, and welcome to an episode of World at the Moment. Today, I want to discuss a topic that is more focused on public health this time. Recently, the World Health Organization, or the WHO, announced around early May that the COVID-19 pandemic is no longer a global health emergency. After roughly 2.5 years of uncertainty, quarantining, social distancing, and so much more, we are finally out of this crisis. It is great news to start off, and definitely a moment of relief for everybody. But around a week before today, Dr. Tedros, the WHO chief, sent out a statement saying that the threat of COVID-19 is far from over, and that we need to take more proactive measures to prevent such a pandemic from happening again. He says, and I mean it, that we could have a pandemic that is even deadlier than COVID-19. Now, hearing this statement sounds a bit unnerving, but today, I think it is important to address the statement and actually truly understand what does Dr. Tedros mean by this. But let's talk a bit about COVID-19. It was basically caused by a virus mutating from a wet market in Wuhan, China. This was a wet market that served all kinds of animals as meat, including wildlife such as bats, snakes, rabbits, and so much more. It was a perfect breeding ground for viruses, having such a variety of wildlife cramped close together, pus, blood, covering all of these animals. There was basically little hygiene done, and this allowed viruses to mutate across different species and eventually make its way into humans. We got the first warning signs when SARS came, and this may have been a little outbreak, but then we had a pandemic like COVID-19. And the shocking thing is, they both come from similar lines. They're both very similar virus strains. I mean, the SARS technical term for that virus is SARS-CoV-1. And for COVID-19, it's SARS-CoV-2. Very similar, yet very much more transmissible. And now look where we are. We had virtually every single country around the world forced to shut down and quarantine for 2.5 years. Around 766 million people contracted COVID, with almost 7 million losing their lives. And the worst part, well, a lot of people lost their livelihood. We had recessions occurring around the world, and we're still feeling the effects of this pandemic today. I mean, right after countries started opening up again and the virus started fading, we experienced rapid post-COVID inflation. And now we're seeing high interest rates, banks closing, and it's just a terrible mess. And that wet market that caused this entire mess, it has been reopened by China and has been fully functional for around a year or so. We did very little to prevent such a pandemic from happening and escalating so badly. Even after we got the warning signs with SARS, this is what Dr. Tedros is highlighting. If we cannot learn to proactively take the steps to prevent a pandemic from escalating so bad, then what does that mean for us if a new virus comes along that is worse than COVID-19? Before we would even be able to react, this new virus will already cause so much damage that would be too great. Dr. Tedros wants us to learn from COVID-19, to take proactive measures, and to see what happens when the government does not take the necessary steps to prevent an outbreak from escalating into a pandemic. Dr. Tedros' statement is haunting. It is meant to be. It is a warning. However, if the world takes the necessary steps to prevent another COVID-19 pandemic, then what Dr. Tedros is warning should never happen at all. Thanks for watching this episode of World at the Moment. Close.